This conference will now be recorded.
What we discussed in the last session?
Maybe last session we discussed loops. For loop we discussed, and along with for loop we discussed yield method also. And there are a couple of exercises we seen that, and then after that list value, how do we retrieve by using for loop.
Hmm.
And there are some break statement, inner break statement we discussed, and we did some exercise also, small exercise.
Yes. Yeah. So did anyone get a chance to do hands-on? Did anyone get a chance to do hands-on? No? Okay. Okay. Let me share my screen. Let's talk about the functions. Okay. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed about loop, for loop, and different variations of usage of the for loop we have seen, right? And also we discussed about a break, how we will use the break in our class, and when you want to break it, inner loop, how will you break, and if you want to specifically break the outer loop, how you can break. So we have seen those things in the last session. Okay, so let's start today. So we'll be discussing about functions. What is a function? What is a function? Can anyone tell me what is a function? Will we keep using the term called function? Can anyone tell me what is a function? Okay, function is a set of statements which we will be reusing it whenever we want and by using the function name, right? So Scala has a different syntax for the declaring the function. Scala has a different um, it has a different signature. Okay, let me show you them how we will declare a function. I have different function demo. Okay, so if you look at the syntax of the function, this is the signature of the function. The first one is diff. Diff is nothing but defining a function, and function name of the function. So why we need to give the name of the function? I have a set of statements. This block of statements I will be keep reusing. I will be executing them whenever or wherever it's required by calling this function name, by specifying this function name. Suppose this set of statements are not going to return any value. There is no return here. We will use unit. If you closely observe, normally how we will declare a variable name and data type, right? That's what we do normally, right? Suppose if I want to say let me do one thing. Here. Sal name equal to, first I'll define my, so you really no need to define your data type. You can define it like this, right? So similarly, the function definitions also, we are defining a function and your function name and a data type or a return type. return data type. Whatever this function is going to return after executing set of statements as a result, that one we will specify here. So when you specify unit, it means that it is not going to return anything. When you specify unit, it is not going to return anything. Okay, unit means kind of void. If anyone is aware that void keyword is equivalent to void, it's not going to return anything. Okay, and here what are the statements you want to execute, we will be executing it. So this is the declaration of the function. So the declaration of the function we will write outside the main method, because main is also one type of function, and this is another type of function, this is another type of function, this is another type of function. So we will write outside the main method. Try to remember this. I have seen that most of the time people committing mistake creating inside the main method. Okay, it actually has to be outside the main method. So if it is there outside the main method, so not only inside the main, you can call that method anywhere else. I'll show you what is that. If I write a method outside here, this method can be used in other class also. Okay, this method can be used, or this method can be called other objects or other file, other class also I can make use of it. Okay, so look at here. This is how we will call a method. Okay, let me do one thing. Print. This is my method, which is simple. It has a 4 statements. The 4 print statement, nothing else. I have declared print names, which returns unit type. When you say unit, empty curly braces it is. When you say unit, it's not going to return anything. That's the meaning of it. Okay, I'm going to call this method whenever I want, wherever I want. I'm going to call this method by specifying that method name or function name. It just executed the 4 statements. If you look at here, this function does not have any arguments, any parameters. You can, instead of arguments, you can call it as a parameters. There are no parameters. That's the reason it's an empty parenthesis. Empty parenthesis. When it comes to a method, look, I'm declaring another method saying that add. Normally, most of the cases, your function names will be the verb, like what action it is going to do. Print names, it means it is going to print something. Add it, something it's going to do the addition. So what these function names represents kind of verb, what it is going to do. Get name, get salary, print, println, we are seeing that println, read line. If you are trying to read a line, read int. So the function names will be like that. And also try to remember the naming convention. It's a convention only, it is not mandatory. Naming convention. Function names will start with a small letter and the following words will be capital letter. Function names will start with a small letter and following words will be capital letter. Okay, and the classes or objects will start with the capital letter and following words also start with the capital letter. Okay, you take any function, if you take any method, any function in the any of the APIs or wherever you take, the syntax will be like this. It will start with a small letter and the following words, if it has multiple words, it will be capital letter. It will start with the following word will start with a capital letter. Okay, that's a naming convention. It doesn't mean that if you write all small, if you write all caps, so it will work. Okay, next, I'm defining a function here by taking 2 arguments or 2 parameters. By taking the 2 parameters, parameter 1 is integer type, parameter 2 also an integer type, and also I'm trying to return. This parameter represents what values you are passing to your method. What are the values you are passing to your method? It will come and store in this argument. First value, whatever you pass, it will come to the first argument. Second value, whatever you pass, it will come to the second argument. The order is important. Order is important. There are special conditions where you really no need to maintain the order, where you can explicitly specify the name. We will see that in a few minutes. Okay. So otherwise, if you just declare like this, the order is important. The order is important. Okay, the order is important. Look at here, what this function is doing. It is taking two arguments. It is summing those two arguments. It's addition. It's trying the addition these two functions. I mean, these two arguments. Whatever the values you send to this method, it taken that and it is summing them. And the sum, you are returning it. You are returning it. So as we know that you really no need to specify the data type. It can infer the data type. It can infer the data type. So when you specify like this, it understands that, okay, the output of this is integer and the last statement of every function. Look at here. So last statement or last expression. Instead of saying statement, I can say last expression is a return value. Let me execute this. The function declaration is like this and function calling will be like this. Function declaration will be like that and function call will be like this. So why I need to assign this? Because I'm calling this function by passing two values. This function will do some functionality inside the function and it is giving me or returning me some value as a result. So that result I need to hold it. I need to store it. So that's the reason I'm using some. That's the reason I'm using some. Okay. Look at here. I'm collecting that and printing it here. So the function definition is here. The function calling is here. Okay. Let me execute this code. When you call this function, inside this function also you have some print statements. X value, Y value. Those two are printed. Then after what you did the sum. The result came here. And I'm printing this result outside of the main function. Sum of this test. Okay. So if you don't want to store into some variable, if you want to just print on the console, you can do like this. If you just want to print on the console, you can just do this. Okay, because here I'm returning a value, I'm making use of that. Okay, let's do it here. Let's do next function. This is without arguments or parameters and without return type. This is with arguments and return type. This is with argument or parameters and return type. This is with arguments. I have not specified anything here. I have not specified anything here. I have not specified anything here. What are the values you are passing? I'm just making use it on last expression. I even not saved this into some other variable. I'm not returning that. I have simply says this. Though this will also will work. Okay. So last expression, as I told you earlier, in the Scala, the last expression in the method will be a return type. Last expression in the method will be return type. So I can show you a different way. Val sum to equal to add to, you can pass some values and you can write your println. Okay, this all will work. Sum 2 is 50. It means I have not specified what is the type of 8 and all those things. So what, based on the values we have passed, it get calculated and it get converted into respective data type and returning the respective data type, right? See the varieties of, various form of writing a function. So this is one form, and this is another form, this is another form. So look at here, guys. Look at here. When you are using return keyword, we need to specify the return value type. What you can do here, like other function, other programming languages, Scala, sorry, Java, some other, you will have a return. There is a keyword called return. You can also use the return keyword here. You can also use the return keyword here. When you're using the return keyword, you'll specify the data type. You'll specify the data type. What will happen if I don't specify that? Let's look at an example here. Method 2 has a return statement need result type. Method, it is if you write a return statement there, it is telling that it is enforcing you need a return result type. You have to specify what is the type. Okay, that's the reason when you specify the data type, or when you're returning when you explicitly use the return keyword, you have to specify the return data type. Return data type. Okay, and also one more thing I'll show you. I think it will be there. I hope everyone is following. If anyone has any doubt, please let me know now. Different forms of different ways of writing a method. Whatever the way you write, it will work. So you can directly call them. Okay. Next to look at here, you can directly assign the values like this. You can print the value here, but I'm not returning anything here. Look at here. I don't have even equal symbol. I don't even have equal symbol here. I don't have equal symbol here. I want return expression. I have to use equal symbol. Suppose if I want to make use of, this method add3 is not going to return anything. Suppose if I say like this, this sum add3, whatever add3 I'm trying to do, if I try to assign a value, look at here, adding, this is the method we're calling without equal symbol. I'm calling this here. Let's see. Okay, you'll get confused. I think it's printing here. There's some. I'll just comment this. Okay, let's try to call this method add3. Let's try to call this method add3. What I can do, let me do another way. I'll put into console. I know that if I have all these functions in a single file, we may get confused. So I'll write it here. A pure expression does nothing in statement position. multi-line expressions required is multi-parenthesis. So here we are not actually returning anything. That's what. But still, it's just a warning. Okay, it's just a warning. Okay. Suppose if I say add 3, it does nothing. It didn't return anything. Even if I write like this, nothing. Your RAS prints nothing. Your RAS prints nothing. It means it didn't return anything. Even though we have written as a lost expression, it is not going to return anything. Why? Because you don't have a equal symbol here in the method declaration. You don't have a equal symbol in the method declaration. Suppose if you have a equal symbol in the method declaration here, if I write like this, now see the difference. You don't get the warnings. You didn't get the warnings, and also it returns your value. Try to remember that when you don't want to return anything from function, don't use equal, or you can just say unit, or you can just say unit. Okay. So when you don't want to return anything, don't use the equal. It assumes that you are not willing to return any value. Okay. Any doubt so far? Any doubt so far?
No, Ravi.
Okay. Next. So these are a couple of examples. I have taken this. So I just need to comment this because there is no use of putting that. Okay. I'm just multiplying, and yeah, so everyone is clear so far whatever we discussed so far. And other important thing which we are going to discuss is default values. Look at here, the signature itself has assignment. Your method signature itself has an assignment. I hope everyone is clear so far. Assignment, return type, parameters, function name, defining, return, those things. Now we are going to see something new. Default values. Default values. How these default values works? What is the purpose of the default values? Very simple, guys. Suppose you have written a function. Let me execute this. This is my function name, default values. If I say default value, if I pass some numbers, it returns me the result. If I don't pass anything, it will take the default value. If you specify the default values like that, if I pass any arguments or parameters, it take and process. If I don't pass anything, it will take the default. Similarly, look at here, I'm going to pass only one, other one will be taken as a default. So here, always the first one will take the whatever the argument you pass here, it will get assigned to the first. So you cannot say like this, I'll pass like this. You cannot say like this. You cannot say. You cannot say like this. This is not correct. Okay. So you can say like this. Okay. This is called default value function or default argument function. Default value or default argument function. Is this clear to everyone? Is this clear?
Here we go.
It's very simple. I didn't see such kind of feature in other programming languages like Java earlier. Maybe in Spark, Java 8 or 9 and these recent versions it may be introduced. I really not sure. Okay, this is actually sometimes when you want to make use a single function for the simple multiple purposes. One purpose is like passing the multiple values. One purpose is passing only one value. One purpose is you don't want to pass anything. So different purposes you can make use. Okay, that's called default value. Default value. Okay, there is something called named parameters. Named parameters or named arguments. Okay, named arguments very simple, guys. While you are passing an arguments, while passing, nothing else, while passing. So nothing did with this default value. You can have a without this declaration also you can just have a ABC also it will work. Okay, so these are the default values. You are specifying the default values. If you don't specify the default values, no problem at all. It doesn't mean that it has to be default values. No, it's a named arguments. This is a general how we will specify your how we will declare your normal method that way only. And the named arguments is nothing but no function name you can give anything. Okay, again some people from the non-programming background and all they think that no I have written my function name as a default value. No, you can write Vira here, or you can write add some, add two numbers, you can write anything here. Okay, these are just a name, it can be any name, you can give any name. Okay, no need to be the same names. So for to make the people understand I have given the names like this, so you should give any name, you go ahead and give any name, no matter at all. Okay, so here if you look at the function call, normally we will call like this, right, by passing the values. Then here what we will do, then here you can specify that which value you are passing to which argument. You can specify here which value you are passing to which argument. Look at here, normally a is the first argument and b is the second argument, but since I have specified explicitly, hey this value has to go to b, hey this value has to go to a, so they're actually considering it. Okay, so I have a separate examples for them, so let me show you quickly. Function with the default values, add int 5 7 is the default values. Okay, so when I have a default value, if I don't pass anything, it will take the default value. If I pass my arguments, if I pass arguments, it will take those arguments. If I pass only one argument, it will take only one argument, and other argument will be default value. Okay, that's a default value. Functions with a default value. Functions with a default value. Okay, so very simple. You just assign the default values, nothing else. You can have any function name here. That's what I was trying to say. Please. Okay. Next, named arguments. You can see this. This is the named arguments. Very simple. Named arguments are nothing but you have a function. Okay, this is varargs. I'll talk about that later. This also I'll talk about that later. No, not this one. Named arguments. This is named arguments. I have a and b. I have a and b. You can pass whatever the order you want. I mean, but you have to specify a equal to b equal to, like that you have to specify. Then only it will consider. Otherwise, it will not. Suppose if you just pass like this, if you just pass like this, as per the order, it will go to a, it will go to b. Okay. This is named arguments or named functions. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay. Next. There is one more. You can have any number of arguments. So a comma b I specified only 2. If I specify a comma b comma c is 3, but I want dynamic. If I pass 2, it should take 2. If I pass 3, it should take 3. If I pass 4, it should take 4. If I pass 5, it should take 5. So it should be dynamic. It should be dynamic. So for that, we have some feature called var args. There is some feature called var args. Var args. Okay, let's say this is my function name. One second. This is my function name. There is a first argument. Second argument is var args. You can have one argument also. Okay, you can also single argument also. Let me do that. You can directly take like this. Okay, you can have like some support, some other arguments, and you can have simple only arguments. Look at the syntax, guys. Your argument name, it can be any name. Okay, don't no need to be the same. It can be any name. Argument, data type, star. If you specify like that, what will happen? What will happen? If I pass only one argument, look at here, 101, I specify only Vira, it takes the Vira only. Okay. Next, if I say Vira, Scala, it will take. If I say Vira, Scala, Spark, other stuff, it will take, because this is meant for that. So suppose if I want to call the same functions, here by specifying this one, I'll remove this, I'll also remove this. I'll say one. Look at here, if you see this method with one argument, the same method with the two argument, the same method with the three arguments, the same method can be four arguments also. That is the advantage of having var args. Five arguments also can have. A number of arguments. That's what I'm trying to say. You can give anything, any number you can give. Anything you can give. Okay. Let me comment the top one. I'm going to comment this. Let me demonstrate. Okay. The first function only. Only first this function itself. Let me demonstrate. This is var args. Put it here. It's called var args. I'm going to run this program. This one is a different one, so ignore from there. Look at here. With one variable, two variables, three variables, 4, 5. Okay, what I'm trying to explain here, if you use var args, like this, you can pass any number of arguments. So if I pass 0 arguments, can I pass 0 arguments? Can I pass 0 arguments? Any guesses?
No.
Okay. With the 0 arguments, you can pass 0 arguments also. It means it supports that 0 or any, 0 or many arguments you can pass. Okay. So you can have few arguments. You have few other arguments, but you want other arguments as like this. Whereas you can have one normal argument, and you can have a whereas also like this. Okay. Next, this is where args. There is one more array, like your main method, guys. Very simple, like your main method. When I'm running this main method, I can pass any number of arguments, 1, 2, 3, or 0. Any number of arguments I can pass here. So var args is different than this. So I simply want to make the difference. That's the reason I'm explaining here itself. While I'm running my program, not compiling, while I'm running my program, I can explicitly pass values like this: 1 argument, second argument, third argument, fourth argument, fifth argument. The space is separated actually. So we can pass like that. Or if you have a array of arguments or array of values, those values also you can pass to your method. Display method, I'm passing array. For the display method, I'm passing arguments. This is my display method, I'm passing arguments. These arguments are this. So what are the arguments you send to contain? You can define those arguments also like this: dot sequence. First ID, second name, third salary, fourth is date of birth, like that. You can declare like this. So this is how the functions will be declared. And in this, so far we have seen that proper functions. There are something called anonymous functions. There are something called abstract functions, and other stuff is there. Let's see the few of the functions like that. Okay, let's see. If you guys feeling overload, or if you guys feeling that no, I'm not able to follow, please let me know.
Maybe can you repeat this again? That ARGS2 sequence, dot 2 sequence. What is
Which one?
this one? ARGS dot 2 SEQ.
So you are sending an array of arguments, correct? You're sending array of arguments here. This args, what it contains? Array, right?
Yeah. Array of strings.
It contains like, let's say I'm passing these things. Okay, I'm passing array. This array will come to here, correct? Okay, this array I can declare like this: id will go to first element, name will go to second element. You'll get like this, right? You will get like this, right? You will get array of arguments. First argument you are assigning to ID. Second argument you are assigning to name. Third argument you are assigning to this. Fourth argument you are assigning here. And fifth one you are assigning to some other. If you want, you can assign, otherwise you can ignore. So let's compile this program. Sequence is nothing but sequence of elements. Okay, this is a can anyone guess why this error came?
There is an extra value to that.
Yeah,
That 007 is extra.
line number 63. So you have to take here, let's say date of join. DOJ. Now run this program. Okay, these arguments are printed here, and ID, name, salary. You can define the what I'm trying to show here. Even though if you have a array of continuous elements, array of continuous arguments, or array of values, those values you can convert into single variables like this. Single variables like this with a single line of code. So you really no need to specify the positions and all. You can just convert your array into the sequence. That sequence you can assign to the sequence of variables. This is declaring the sequence of variables. Declaring the sequence of variables. First variable, second variable, third variable, fourth variable, fifth variable. Okay. Is this clear? Any doubts so far?
I have one question.
Please.
Uh, like varargs, if we are maintaining as a string star, if we are like with respect to data type, if we are maintaining a star, then it will take as a like unlimited number of argument,
Hmm.
and we can change to any data type like int, double, or anything.
So okay, let me if my understanding is correct, what you want to say, this one, one second, you want it to be integers. This is what you are trying to say.
Yes, yes.
These kind of things you guys do experiments. Okay, so try keeping different data types and do your own experiments. Okay, you can keep, if it allows to one data type, obviously it will allow other data type also. Okay, even here also, it's a string, you can give integer, it will take. You give float, it will take. Give double, it will take. Okay, any other questions? Guys, that's it for now. So I just want to drop off because I have on call, office one, so I'll connect to there. So if you have any questions, please ask me. I'll try to answer them. Then we'll drop off. And tomorrow we'll talk about the anonymous function, where we'll not be having any name. Anonymous function, there won't be any name. There won't be any name. Okay, we'll talk about that. And tomorrow we'll be talking about recursion, the most important topic for interview as well as for real time. So recursion and anonymous functions, and there are something called currying, and the other stuff is there. We'll talk about those things tomorrow. So yeah, that's it now. So
Yeah.
if you have any questions, please ask me.
Ravi, I have a request. Can you upload
Please.
these into Google Drive? I've tried to
Ravi,
download.
what is the last one you said? Anonymous recursion.
Anonymous functions, recursions, and any other like currying or higher order functions. Venkat, I think I missed only one class. Yesterday one I didn't upload it. Rest all uploaded.
No. I'm talking about these Scala files.
Oh, these
They're in
files are these are all there in the GitHub.
yeah. The problem I'm facing is I'm unable to download it. I have to copy the entire code, then I have to create another file here to copy paste.
Why
So I
you
have to
not able to do? One
manually.
second. Why
Yeah.
why that problem?
I don't know. I'm unable to download it directly, the file.
No. One second. You click on here, clone or download. Okay. Download a zip file.
Wait. Let me do that. Not getting the option if I'm not wrong. I don't have that option at all.
Download zip option is not there for everyone or only for Venkat?
I can't see the clone or download option at all.
Is it? Let me do one thing. Let me log out. Have you signed in?
No, I don't have a GitHub account. That's the
Please.
problem.
Yeah. Create an GitHub account
Okay.
and try login. Download it.
Okay,
So you
I'll
can
do.
download as a zip. You'll get the whole thing as a zip. Then you can actually make use of it.
Sure, thank you. I'll log in. I'll sign up.
If you're not okay to download, what you can do, I'll show tomorrow how to clone it. Okay. You can clone it also. Okay. You just take this one. Go to I'll show you right away. Okay. I'll repeat again, guys. Go to your GitHub, clone or download. It'll gives you that URL. Take that URL. Go to your IntelliJ file, new project from version control, version control, GitHub. There, if you have any token, you can click on this to use the token. If you don't have a token, I think you should be logged in. Okay, if you logged in, you can try that. Or else you can take this option. Take this option. Version control, Git, and you'll specify your Git name. Sorry. Copy this, paste it here. Test your connection, whether you're able to connect or not. So your connection successfully connected. Click on clone. The whole project will be get cloned into your IntelliJ. Either download. Okay, there are two ways to create your projects. Three ways actually, I can say. You can just say new project and create a new project. So Maven project or Gradle, whatever the project. And other project is creating from version control. Other option is project from the existing source. Existing source means you already downloaded into some location. From you can point it out that. So tomorrow I'll show Venkat. You just do one thing. Tomorrow I'll show these three options. This is in the real time also. We'll be making use of this. So okay.
Thank
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Have a wonderful day. Let's meet tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.